Hello, Mr. Price, and this is the video on the Unit 12B on inequalities. Section 1 is all about graphical representations of them, and Section 2 is all about solving inequalities. Let's go into the first set of questions. So, to represent x is less than 2 on our number line, I'm going to say that at this point 2 is when it's exactly equal to x, but we want all the numbers that are less than this, so the numbers that are this way. Okay, now because it's less than and not equal to, I need to make sure that's a hollow dot. Okay, so I've done that wrong already. Okay, it needs to be a hollow dot, not a solid one. Okay, so here it shows that x is less than 2. This time I want x to be greater than and equal to 2. So on the point at 2, that's exactly when it's 2. I want the numbers that are greater than this, but also including 2. So that needs to be coloured in like this. Okay, the next question is when I want it to be this inequality here. Now, if I cover that bit up, I want x to be smaller or equal to 3. So I'm going to put this bit on my number line here. And because it wants to be equal to 3, I need that to be coloured in. And it's going to be going in this direction. Now if I cover up this part, I want 0 to be less than x, which is a little bit more difficult to read. So I'm going to turn that the other way round. So I'm going to have x at the front and then 0 on the right. And I want it to be still facing the 0. Okay, so now I know that x has to be bigger than 0. So I put my circle above the 0, and it's going to be going bigger, and they meet in the middle. Now, because it's not equal to 0, that needs to be a hollow dot, and that one's finished. Okay, next question. I have the same thing again. So here, x has to be bigger than or equal to 3. So I'm going to put a dot above the 3, and I want it to be bigger, but also equal to, so I'm going to put a hollow dot in there. But I also want negative 1 to be bigger than or equal to x. I don't like reading it that way around, so I'm going to put x at the front and negative 1 on the right. And this time making sure that the inequality points towards the x, like so. So I also want x to be smaller than or equal to negative 1. So I'm going to put a dot, which is coloured in, on the negative 1, and I want it to be facing that way. Okay, so on all the numbers that are not between negative 1 and 3, like this. Okay, the next question, I've got x needs to be less than 135. Now I don't have any numbers on my number line this time, but I notice that the difference between 126 and 135 is 9. So we're thinking, what's a nice number that can go up in 9s? Well, I could do 9, but even better, I'm going to do some 3s. So I'm going to do 123, and it's important to stress here, there's no correct or incorrect way as long as it goes up by the same amount and it fits on the number line. So I'm going to have 123, 126, 129, and then 132, 135, 138, 141, and then 144. Okay, so I want x to be smaller than 135, but not including it, so hollow dot. And I also want x to be facing a 126, bigger or equal to 126. So coloured in a dot that meet in the middle, like so. Okay, now the final question, I need to write what this inequality means. So here, I need to look, what is this going up in? So to go from 180 to 192, that's a difference of 12. So clearly, this is going up in 6s. So that's 186. This is 174. So here I can see that x needs to be bigger than, but not equal to 174, and x needs to be smaller than and equal to this number that's halfway between 186 and 192. Well, that's a gap of 6, so that's going to be a gap of 3, so that's going to be 189. Okay, now this isn't quite finished yet. Okay, I want this to be as a double inequality like this. So I'm going to have my largest number on the right, so x is less than or equal to 189. Now to put this in the same inequality, I need the x on the right hand side. So it's still facing 174. So 174 is less than x. And that's my finished answer. Okay, let's look at some stage 2 questions. So, I'll use my whiteboard to answer the questions. So, question 1, I have a plus 6 is greater than 5. So to get a by itself, I subtract 6 from both sides, and I'm going to get a is bigger than negative 1. Question 2, 8 is less than or equal to b subtract 4. So I need to get the b by itself, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I'm going to get 12 is less than or equal to b. Question 3, I have 5c is greater than 8. So to get the c by itself, I need to divide both sides by 5. So I'm going to get c is greater than 8 over 5. And it's fine to leave it like this, as there's no common factors top and bottom. So I'm going to leave it like that. Question 4, I have 3 is less than or equal to d divided by 2. So to get rid of that divide by 2, I need to multiply by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. It's less than or equal to d. Okay. Let's look at the next set of questions. Question 5, I have negative 3e is greater than or equal to 231. So to get the e by itself, I need to divide by negative 3 on both sides. So I'm going to get e. Now, when I divide by a negative number, I know I need to flip the inequality here. Okay, so that's going to become less than or equal to, so it's gone the other way around. And then 231 divided by 3 is 77. There's my final answer. E has to be smaller than or equal to 77. Right, let's look at the stage 2 questions. 4 subtract 2f is greater than or equal to 13. Now these are the ones that we seem to get wrong a lot of the time. So, first I'm going to get rid of this 4 by subtracting 4, as it's a positive 4. So I'm going to get negative 2f is greater than or equal to 13 take away 4, so that's going to be 9. And now I want to divide by negative 2. And I know when I divide by negative 2, I flip the inequality. So I'm going to get f is smaller than or equal to 9 over 2. Next question. 93 is less than g squared plus 12. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So I'm going to get 81 is less than g squared. And then I square root both sides. So I'm going to get 9, because the square root of 81 is 9, is less than g. And for a bonus point, if you remember negative 9, okay, 8 minus 2h is greater than 4 minus 12h. So, first I'm going to look for my smallest coefficient of h. Now, it might be tempting to say that's this one, but actually negative 12 is smaller. So I'm going to get rid of this 12h by adding 12h to both sides. So negative 2h plus 12h is 10h, and it's positive, and the 8's still there, is greater than 4. And then I don't want any numbers on this side, so I'm going to take away this 8. So I'm going to get 10h is greater than negative 4, and then divide by 10. So h is bigger than negative 0.4. And that's that question done. Now on to the penultimate question. This one's a worded one. So 6 is added to a number. So first I'm going to let a equal starting number. Always tell the person what your letters are. Okay, so I've got my starting number A, I add 6, and then I multiply all of this by 9, and this result is bigger, so it's greater than 99. So let's find out what my possible number could be. So first, I want to get rid of this multiply by 9 by dividing by 9. Also, you might have chosen to expand out the inequality, it will still work. Okay, so divide both sides by 9, I get a plus 6 is greater than 11. And then get rid of this add 6 by taking away 6. So a has to be bigger than 5. I'm going to very quickly do the alternative way you might have done it. So let's start again at 9 lots of a plus 6 is greater than 99. So expand out the bracket first. 9 times a is 9a. 9 times 6 is 54. Is greater than 99. So I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. Okay, and I'm going to get 45. So 9a is greater than 45, and then divide both sides by 9, so you get a is bigger than 5. And that is all the questions done. As always, come and see me if you need any further help. Thank you.